Hi guys, so this is Cleverguns YT at ngayon, ito yung part 1 ng blockchain versus traditional system na ginagamit natin dito sa Pilipinas na national election. So, bakit maganda ang blockchain technology sa national election? Pero bago yan, ano nga ba ang blockchain at ano ang kaibahan nito sa ginagamit nating automated election? Magsimula muna tayo sa ginagamit nating system ngayon, which is the VCMs, na ang architecture ay voters machine to servers, meaning traditional ang infrastructure nito. So, paano gumagana ang VCMs at ano ang mga naging issue nito noong 2010, 2013, 2016 at 2019? Okay, sa pinagkuhanan ko ng video, please wag niyo po akong i-copyright. Nag-message na rin po ako sa inyo. So, sana hindi talaga ma-copyright. Let's play the video.
Who bought it? Who wrote the software? How was that software coded, right? When it was delivered from the company to a polling station, what happened when it was on the truck? Did the truck make a stop? Did somebody try to change the software then? Once it got to the polling station, did any of the polling officials interfere with it, right? Did they try to apply a magnitude? Did they try to change the code? Did they try to unplug it? Did they try to block the transmission of data? Any one of these issues along the way completely could invalidate an election.
Ang mga balota ay ipinapasok sa mga VCMs o vote counting machines na matatagpuan sa bawat presinto. Mula sa mga VCMs ay tatlo ang pinagpapadalhan ng resulta ng halalan. Una, ito ay direktang ipapadala sa mga Municipal o City Board of Canvassers o MBOC at CBOC na matatagpuan sa munisipyo o City Hall. Mula rito ay ipapasa naman ang mga resulta sa Provincial Board of Canvassers o PBOC at mula sa PBOC ay ipapadala ang provincial results sa National Board of Canvassers o NBOC na matatagpuan sa Batasang Pambansa o Kongreso. Pangalawa, mula sa VCMs ay direktang ipinapadala ang resulta ng halalan sa Transparency Server na matatagpuan sa Pope Pio Center sa Manila. Ito yung nakikita natin sa TV na unofficial results. At pangatlo, direktang ipinapadala ito sa Comelec Central Server sa PICC kung saan mayroon rin silang sariling bilangan.
Bakit hindi tinupad? Unang-una,
and they forgot to tell us about a queue server.
Mula sa mga VCMs ng bawat presinto ay dumaan ang mga boto sa isang queue server sa halip na direktang ipapadala ang mga resulta ng mga MBOC o CBOC, Transparency Server at Comelec Central Server. Ang queue server na ito ang sumasala sa lahat ng resulta mula sa mga VCMs. Ang queue server na ang siyang nagpapadala ng mga resulta sa Municipal o City Board of Canvassers, sa Transparency Server at sa Comelec Central Server. Ang mga encrypted results files na ipinadala ng mga VCMs ay dapat selyado at walang sino mang nakakakita ng laman nito. Pero ayon sa pagsusuri ng mga eksperto, hiwa-hiwalay at nabuksan na ang mga results files na ito nang matanggap ng destination servers o paroroonan nito. Nagkaroon rin ng mga regional hubs na hindi kasama sa napag-usapang election system. Hindi ito sumailalim sa anumang testing o security review na nakasaad sa ating batas.
Binigyan mo nga yung...
So the question is, there is such a queue server.
There's a queue server.
And called queue server is part of the transmission services. Yes. Yeah, if you want to call it.
Audit logs ang nagsisilbing logbook ng vote counting machines. Dito makikita ang tala ng lahat ng mga naganap sa VCM na iyon. Pati date at time ay detalyado ang record nito. Mga impormasyon tungkol sa makina, ang machine MAC address, machine physical ID number, precinct ID number at location, application version, framework build version, sinong kasapi ng Board of Election Inspectors ang nag-login, mga diagnostic tests, mga balotang ipinasok sa makina, mga errors ng makina, oras ng pagbukas at pagtapos ng botohan, pagbilang ng mga boto, pagpirma ng hindi epektibong digital signatures, pag-transmit ng mga resulta, pag-print ng election returns, at hanggang sa pagsara ng makina. Parang logbook na minomonitor ang lahat ng pangyayari sa makina. Ang election returns naman ay ang tala ng bilang ng lahat ng boto di umano na pumasok sa makinang iyon.
There's a process, whether you like it or not. The system automatically stamp marks an audit log, the date, the time, and the identification of the machine. Now, that thing that would show you the jump would also raise the red flag and says, why is it not sequential? Time and again, we've been saying all of this information, all of these discoveries already subject for digital forensics even as way back in 2010. And it's still happening to this day.
Ang decrypted ballot images ay ang selfie ng balota. Ito ay ang mirror images ng paper ballots natin. Ito ay dapat faithful reproductions o makatotohanang kopya ng ating balota. Walang labis o kulang. Pagkapasok sa VCMs ng ating balota, agad itong kinukuhanan ng litrato sa ibabaw at sa ilalim. Ang picture images na ito ay mapupunta sa SD cards na nakalagay sa makina. Ang sequence numbers nito ay naka-assign na rin at dapat ay magkasunod-sunod ito. Kumbaga, ang unang magpapasok ng balota ay siyang magiging image number 1. Ang pangalawang botante naman ay si image number 2, and so on. Ibig sabihin, kung mayroon 100 botante ang presinto A, ang last file numbers na dapat ay makikita sa SD card ay image number 100.
In the case of precinct number 40 in Pili, Camarines Sur, nawawala yung ballot image sequence numbers 1 to 40. If I remember, it's 57 to 63, 78 to 83. All in all, ang nawawala in Pili, Camarines Sur would be 155 ballot images. But then we found out that the ballot image sequence numbers reached 767. Then these missing ballot images were tampered with. And they were added at the bottom. That is why the ballot sequence number did not end at the maximum ballots that were cast at 612, but naging 767 siya. From 612 plus 150, 767. That's why it added 613, 614, 615, 616, 617, because it could not go back anymore to number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, until number 40, because those numbers were previously assigned already.
The square is a the square is to facilitate the visual determination of how the machine appreciated the ballot, the votes, or the shape.
But the Comelec never announced to the entire world that there will be squares in the scanned images.
It's part of it was shown during the source code review. We showed that. It was available then. It was also reviewed by the SLI. We didn't hide that functionality, Your Honor.
Was it mentioned that there will be possibility?
No, we were not apprised of any information that there will be an insertion or a deletion on the image. Based on a review, that image should be a complete, faithful reproduction. There should be no alterations. If there's any insertion or deletion of any image on that image ballot, that would render that image questionable, because you have now the ability to edit. And if we had seen that in the source code, we would have objected to it immediately.
Please. The law provides for an optical scanning of the ballot inserted.
Correct.
So no alteration can be made. If the design of the BCM to the SD cards allows the Comelec to insert anything there like a square, they can also insert any kind of shade.
Case, blockchain is used in a decentralized way so that no single person or group has control. Rather, all users collectively retain control. Kalat. Di ba? Yung database. Di ba? Decentralized blockchains are immutable, which means that the data entered is irreversible. Ibig sabihin, hindi mo madidelete. Di ba? For Bitcoin, hindi mo ma-alter, hindi mo ma-edit. For Bitcoin, this means that transactions are permanently recorded and viewable to anyone.
Misrepresentations and fraudulent practices, SmartMatic has been awarded multi-billion contracts in Bolivia and the Philippines. So the question remains, why does the Comelec continue to award the biggest contracts to SmartMatic? With the Comelec's systematic denial of the major safeguards, standard verification, and audit mechanisms, the results of the AES expose showed that the 2013 midterm elections were not only highly improbable and questionable, but also highly suspect to electoral fraud and manipulation. Or after the printing of the election returns, the chairman of the Board of Election Inspectors or any official authorized by the Commission shall, in the presence of watchers and representatives of the accredited citizens' arm, political parties, or candidates, if any, electronically transmit the precinct results to the respective levels of Board of Canvassers, to the dominant majority and minority party, to the accredited citizens' arm, and to the kapisanan ng mga broadcaster ng Pilipinas or KBP. However, instead of direct
right after that incident, something happened with the results.
I was there at the Paris the 12 when the programmer from SmartMatic took off a card. You cannot just do that. That's an election paraphernalia. So I asked Marlon, what's this big number of from the precinct? You cannot have big numbers. And he said, ma'am, disregard that. That is from the intermediary server. I said, intermediary server? What server? That's not in our schematic diagram. And he said, oh, we have to decrypt because true enough, from the precinct, it is encrypted to the, when it's transmitted to the municipal server. That's good, to decrypt that, to encrypt that so that there's no hacking done, okay? But we were not told that it was going to pass through an intermediary server.
So what does that mean? Can you imagine, you put a computer there, you do something that nobody knows really what you did, you can claim it is for this, but how do we really know? I think this is even more important, and Marlon Garcia or SmartMatic, who is representing, should actually be taken to court because they are interfering with the Filipino voting process.
Intermediary server were never really reviewed or given any attention.
He touched the server, he had a laptop connected to the server, yet nobody has said anything. When it comes to ICT, this is very critical because you can key in a few words and there is already a program behind and it can change a whole lot of stuff. So why is this being permitted? You know, this is what I am very passionate about. We have to change the way things are done.